Hello, I'm John Roos, the United States Ambassador to Japan. First, I would like to offer my personal condolences to all those who have been affected by the multiple tragedies of the earthquake, tsunami, and the ongoing situation with the Fukushima power plant. We all recognize the enormous impact that the events of March 11th have had on Japan. The United States is continuing to do everything it can and should do to support our close friends, the people of Japan, as they respond to this disaster. Our commitment to Japan is made clear by the images of our military, not only those stationed here, but also those who all over the world are standing up to support the Japanese people. Experts from across our government have rushed in, not only to provide expertise, but also to assist villages and towns across northeast Japan. Let me underscore that the embassy has remained open throughout the crisis, and all of us are working around the clock. This evening, I want to take a few minutes to update my fellow American citizens on the situation as we know it today, March 22nd. I know that you and your family are seeking clear information, and I encourage you to look at information posted on the embassy website for details. Your well-being is our top priority, and our goal is to ensure that Americans in Japan can make informed decisions in this ongoing and dynamic situation. First, I would like to discuss some of the recent news you have heard about the departure of some embassy family members and the departure of the USS George Washington from Yokosuka. Given the extraordinary circumstances, the State Department and Department of Defense on March 17th authorized the voluntary departure of eligible family members and non-emergency Defense Department civilians from Tokyo, Nagoya, Yokohama, and 15 prefectures surrounding the Fukushima plant. We took this step out of an abundance of caution and in order to enable United States government officials and the uniformed military to concentrate on the tasks at hand. Our employees remain in country, and we are absolutely open for business. In fact, the number of people working at the embassy now is much larger than before the earthquake due to the number of experts who have arrived from the United States to augment our operations in these difficult times. The USS George Washington is repositioning to assure she can sustain a state of readiness in the long term for the defense of Japan and our alliance commitments. She is scheduled to remain in the local waters of Japan. Again, moving the George Washington is a precaution given the capabilities of the vessel and the complex nature of this disaster. Second, let me turn to an issue that I know is of utmost concern to all of us living in Japan, and that is the nuclear situation. As you have likely heard or read already, the United States Nuclear Regulatory Commission, the NRC, recommends that the United States citizens who reside within 50 miles or 80 kilometers of the Fukushima nuclear plant leave the area or remain indoors as much as possible if departure is not practical. That recommendation is based on the steps that the NRC would recommend in a similar situation in the United States. Outside of that 50-mile area, we're urging American citizens to carefully monitor both our guidelines and the guidelines of the Japanese government. The situation at the Fukushima nuclear plant has naturally raised concerns about how far radioactive contamination might spread and to what degree. Available data indicates that levels of radioactivity at the reactor site itself are variable, but remain very dangerous. Farther from the reactor site, radiation monitoring by the Japanese government, the U.S. government, the International Atomic Energy Agency, and the World Health Organization all indicate that levels of radiation measured in Tokyo, as well as Saitama, Chiba, and Kanagawa prefectures remain well below levels dangerous to human health. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control stated on March 19th that the risk of exposure to radiation and the risk of contamination from radioactive materials are believed to be low, especially if you are outside the 50-mile zone. You can consult CDC guidance on the use of potassium iodide in the event of a radiological emergency. Yesterday, the U.S. government decided to make potassium iodide available as a precautionary measure for government personnel and family members residing in the areas of Japan for which voluntary departure of family members is also authorized. The recipients of the medicine have been told they should consume it only after specific instructions from the government. There is no indication at this time that it will become advisable to take potassium iodide, but it has been provided out of an abundance of caution. In the event of a radiological release, sheltering in place or safely departing affected areas remain the most effective means of protection. For private United States citizens seeking information about potassium iodide, we advise you to contact your doctor or employer, but if you need further assistance, contact the Department of State through the means explained on our website. A multi-agency team of U.S. experts are in place here in Japan, cooperating directly with Japanese authorities to help contain the damage at the reactors. We are sharing critical expertise, equipment, and technology so that the responders on the scene have the benefit of American teamwork and support. The situation at the site continues to be fluid. I encourage all American citizens to remain in close touch with the embassy through our consular warden system, which has, as of March 22nd, sent out and posted on our website 19 post-quake messages to the American community in Japan. I want to assure you that the information we give our embassy community is the same that we share with all of you. We will continue to monitor the situation at the Fukushima nuclear site closely and will advise you of any significant developments that could impact your health or safety. I want you to know that Washington's paramount concern, and mine, is the health and safety of all U.S. citizens abroad. Thank you. And once again, our thoughts and prayers are with the Japanese people during this incredibly difficult period.